break down what is the difference. Thad is here on the live, people. This is Byron Scott. Got my guy Thaddeus Swint on the line. He gonna explain to us the difference between double closing versus assignment. Now, Thad, which one is your favorite? Is your favorite the double close, or do you like to assign these wholesale contracts?
I mean, for me, it's all situational. Does everyone understand what is a double close and what is an assignment?
Well, you go
I
ahead
guess
and
I
break
can
it
start
down
with
to
the
us,
basics.
Thad. What is double close first? First, what does it mean to double close on a property, and what does
Okay.
it take to double
So,
close?
so if we were to double close, a lot of the reasons why you would double close is because you're gonna make a lot of money, and so people are gonna make it jealous, and you don't want them to know. So you're gonna go to the attorney's office and you're gonna say, "Hey, is it possible?" Sometimes people say pass through funding. Sometimes people say double closing. But you essentially what you're doing is you're using the funds from the buyer to fund your closing on your side. So the seller doesn't know that you're going to be closing, with someone else. They're just going to be like, "Oh, I sold to that, done." And then the attorney's office is going to take those funds. Well, they took the funds from the buyer, but they're going to use those funds again with your deal with the second closing that you're having with the. So you got your A to B, and then you got your C to D. So you're going to be A B with your seller. They just see your side, and then you're going to be CD with your buyer on the other side, and the buyer will not be able to see what you had the seller at. So the buyer won't know how much money you're going to make, which is good because sometimes if you make too much money, they're going to be thinking that you're making too much money on every deal. In the future, they're like, "Oh, last time, that made 20,000. He shouldn't make 20,000. So I'm gonna try to cut, the price even more because he's making too much money." But if they
Gotcha.
don't know how much money, they can't count your pocket if they can't see your pocket. So that's what the
There you
double
go.
close.
So Thad, talking about double closing. Now, if you just coming in, got my guy Jordan just coming in. We got A. What's up, A? Just coming in. My guy Thad is on here talking about double closing. And just explaining, hey, you can hide what you're making. I mean, they can figure it out at the end of the day, but you don't necessarily want the seller to know that you are going to sell it to somebody else, or you don't want to necessarily let the seller know your profits. Then you can do the double closing and get out of there pretty clean on these wholesale deals. So he just explained double closing. If you missed it, just rewind on YouTube, go back and watch it. Now that so you explained double closing, we have two contracts.
Double closing.
So explain the assignment contract.
So assignment contract, you're gonna have a line on your contract, and it's gonna say, and or times, or this contract can be bought by maybe a third party. There's gonna be some kind of line on there that says that you can give it to somebody else. So you're just gonna do that contract, and you're gonna give them a fee. There's gonna be an assignment fee that you have a contract with your buyer for that assignment fee. But the buyer is going to be able to see that and say, "Okay, well, that is making $5,000." They're probably, "Okay, I'm okay with that." If the assignment fee said that is making $100,000, they might not be okay with that. So you got your assignment fees $5,000, and the seller, when you close, depending on the attorney's office, they might be able to see that you made $5,000. Sometimes the attorney's office will hide it. In certain states, North Carolina, they'll hide it. I think in Georgia they don't hide it, so the seller will be able to see that there's a $5,000 assignment fee, and they're going to know that you made $5,000.
Yep. So when you do that assignment and they see it, you know what I'm saying. But when do they usually see it though?
At closing.
At the closing table with the pen in their hand.
So they might not walk away from the deal because they're going to be at the table and they're like, "Oh, he's making 5,000. I don't like it, but I didn't want to sell my house." Now, if it was 100,000, if it was 80,000, if it was 50,000, I don't know. Maybe they say, "I'm not doing this." I don't. So that's why you might want to use a double closing in that instance. The only thing about the double closing is that you have to pay the attorney's office to do it. So you might want to call in advance and say, how much does it cost for double closing? A lot of times it might be between $500 to $1,000, depending. I would shoot for 5 or 6. You can even negotiate. You can say, hey, I'm doing a lot of deals with you guys. You think you can maybe take off $100? You might not even care about the $100, but if you're going to be working with them a lot, you could probably even negotiate. A lot of things are negotiable, in life. So that's the double close. That's the assignment. So me personally, I don't like to pay the attorney's office, but technically, if I'm doing a double close, it means I'm making a lot of money. So
yeah.
If Byron's the original question, which one do I like more? I like the double close.
Okay,
I'm be making a lot of money. That's what that means.
So when does it become a lot of money though, Thad? Like, at what point does A need to double close this thing, and what point do A just assign it?
Well, it depends on the state once again, because in North Carolina, they always the seller has never seen I'm like, hey, is the seller gonna see it? They're like, no, it's not gonna see it. So sales assignment or Florida, I would say how much money would probably be a problem. Probably anything maybe 15K or more. They're probably gonna be looking kind of sideways at you, because I really like referrals. I like my sellers to come back to me and give me referrals for future deals. So I want them to have a warm, fuzzy feeling about, me and my company. And I want them to have a great experience. I don't want at the end they have an experience and their stomach's hurting and their palms are sweating, That's not what we want.
So somebody said, is this Cass? No, this ain't Cass. This is Thad. Thad is my guy. One of my best friends that came from Afghanistan, came back to America. I called him while he was in Afghanistan. He over there, he over there getting it done in Afghanistan. I called him up like, hey man, I think I finally figured this real estate thing out, right? I had been calling Thad and telling them like, hey, I'm gonna figure this real estate thing out, talking about buying rentals, talking about doing all this different stuff in real estate. But then when I finally figured out wholesaling, I called him up. He was still in Afghanistan. I was like, dude, I think this is it, man. It was like, and I was telling him he could do it from Afghanistan, right? And then I was like, dude, I think it's time for you to come back and do this business with me, and I'm just talking, but yeah, man. So this is Thad. He finally ended up coming back, and yeah, he been wholesaling ever since, man. So I got him on here. We was just talking, and then the next thing you know, I went live, man. So he up on here. So ABC XYZ on TikTok says, can you fill out a contracts on this so we can see what it looks like? I'm gonna have to make a video on TikTok, man, showing y'all how to fill out these contracts. I know I got one on YouTube, but I'm gonna make one on TikTok showing you how to fill out these contracts. So they said, got you. I watched his video on the channel. Yeah, no doubt, man. Really good. He got his own channel. What's the name of your channel, Thad?
My channel is My Wholesale Journal. It's just me every day, what's going on in my business. Do I find new buyers? Do I need to, write some pamphlets? Just to give y'all every day, of what it's like to be a wholesaler. So, but it's My Wholesale Journal. Y'all can hit me up anytime. Just let me know. You just hit me up.
There you go. Thad got his wholesale journal going on. You can go check his videos out. Send a plug in them right here to my 10,000 followers on TikTok. Go check that out. A said, tell him I'm his 12th subscriber. Jordan just subscribed too. There you go, Thad, man. Hey, we running you up over here. The real estate next door family. They showing they love, Thad. Showing your love, man.
I appreciate
Show your love, man. Never love over here, man. But yeah, man. So, uh, wholesaling, man. We just talked about the double closing. We talked about the assignment. Thad said he liked the double closing better because he's gonna get a bigger profit. I don't know, man. I got mixed feelings. I'm cool with double closing. Like, I'm the kind of person that don't mind paying extra money to secure my money. It's like, you know, if it's gonna make the situation better, if I think that somebody gonna mess something up, I'm double closing it and go ahead. Let's get the deal done. What do we have to do to get the deal done? It's gonna cost you an extra $800. Do it. Double close. Get the deal done. Let's go. It ain't nothing to me to double close. I don't mind missing out on that little money to go ahead and make money. But Thad is more of a daredevil now. He talks about double close and stuff over 15K, but I wouldn't be shocked if he assigned something that was 20K and he let the seller see it, go ahead and sign it. But I have done a 20K assignment myself. Like, I've done a 20K assignment. What's the biggest assignment you've done, Thad?
I had the seller. They talked to their mortgage lender, and they talked to the attorney, and they took it off of the HUD, and they paid me at the end. They didn't use it as an assignment. They just we changed it. We wrote like another contract, and they paid me at the end of the deal, and the seller never saw it. I could have just double closed and not have gone through that, but I was being cheap. But the seller wasn't gonna see it. This was in South Georgia. The seller wasn't gonna see it, and that's what I did. But I guess I might be a little bit more of a daredevil. But I ask. You can ask the attorney's office and see what they're gonna say. So you know what you need to do.
Kind of judge it. Yeah, judge it. See how it's gonna go down. So Mo Giddy said, "How long did it take you to find your first deal?" For me, it took me to find my first deal. It probably took me like 2-3 weeks. Actually, it may have taken me maybe 2 weeks to find my first deal. And I was lucky, right? I was lucky. Like, it came early. So I was pretty lucky. Dang, how long did it take you to find your first deal?
I want to say I started in December of 2020, but I didn't get serious. See, I didn't really get serious and say I am a wholesaler until February. So if you want to count from when I got serious, it took me to, I think I closed in April. If I didn't close it was either end of April or beginning of May. But before that, I was trying all kinds of crazy stuff, and then Byron said, that's not gonna work. You should just do it. You should do it like this. So then when he said that, and I said, okay, I'm a buy a list, and I'm gonna try this. I tried 2 cities, and the first city, no bites. The second city, I tested it. I tested the list 2 times. So I tested it. I think I tested it in February, and I went back and I tested it in March, and then I had a deal. It's on this channel. We have a video of it, but I made like 12 grand on that deal, and the guy signed. I think he signed in March, but we didn't close. We didn't close to like either the end of April or the beginning of May.
Yep.
But
got it done.
You want to say that is.
So A said, "Hey, can you ask him what his main form of marketing is, and any advice for newbies?"
Okay, my main form of marketing is texting. Advice for newbies. I would say find a partner. If I didn't have a partner when I first got started, it would have been a lot harder. I would say find somebody kind of like yourself that's kind of starting out, or maybe find somebody who knows a little bit more than yourself, who just I don't know, maybe wants a partner for some reason. I don't know why they might want one, but find a partner. Split your costs up. That way, because a lot of young wholesalers don't have a lot of money to pay for all the services, but the services get cheaper if you buy them in bulk. So rather than if you buy a whole gallon of milk, it's gonna be cheaper than a half a gallon of milk. So it's the same way with wholesaling. Get your partner, get you that whole gallon of milk, or go to Costco. It'll be even cheaper. But that means you're going to have to be eating a lot of food. So you maybe get 2 or 3 wholesalers, and split up the cost. It'll make it a lot easier. Y'all can bounce ideas off each other. If one of you goes to work, like Ariana next door used to have a day job. And so when he had a day job, I might be looking at the text or something, like, hey, hey, you got a deal. Or if I don't know, like if I go on vacation or something, then you got Ariana next door is like texting me like, Dad, you got a deal, But how can you leave? How can you go on vacation when there's nobody watching? It's a lot better to get a lot. Who's watching the store? It gets a lot better when you have another eye. So I would say get like 2 or 3 y'all, and y'all can split up like where y'all don't all have to eat at the same place. Y'all can eat at different places. Y'all can wholesale different places and just watch each other's back.
There you go.
I think that would be the best advice for like a young wholesaler.
All right, so Thad, somebody on TikTok said, what texting platform do you use to talk to sellers?
Well, we are currently using good old launch control. We're using good old launch control.
Launch control.
We originally used Lead Sharper, but I don't know. Launch control makes it easier, but the right now we're at the 1400 Pro account. It used to be 1,000. The 1,000 sounds a lot better than 1,400, but it's fulfilling our needs for the moment. So we're using launch control. I think Byron has a link to get you started in launch control. Maybe he can put it in the comments or something. His link for launch control.
Yeah, we'll put the links in the comment and the description below. But man. This has been a good one, man. This has been a good one. We've only been on here for 17 minutes, man. Y'all gotta ask us some more questions. Ask my guy Thad some questions, man. Y'all know what we're trying to do here, trying to help 100 people with a 9 to 5 star wholesaler so they can live life on their own terms, man. So Thad definitely started living life on his own terms, going from Afghanistan to Bremen, Georgia. Right? It's like, that's a big difference. How big of a difference is it, man?
Well, I didn't live in Afghanistan. It felt like I was living in Afghanistan, but I just worked there. I did work there for 7 months straight, which is kind of like living there. But how big of a difference? The internet is better here. If I did want to call somebody, the hours were different. But at one point, I was living in South America. I had a house in Colombia, South America, and it was a lot different. Sometimes I think about like wholesaling, like how do you wholesale in Colombia? Like maybe I should try it.
You could.
I would have to read contracts in Spanish and write contracts in Spanish. I'm not on that level yet, but it's a lot different out here in Georgia.
Well, hey, I gotta tell y'all a quick story. His wife actually wholesaled the deal before him. She did. She almost did 2 deals. She wholesaled it. Yeah, almost had 2 deals before he had one. Man, that's crazy, man. So she wholesaled from Colombia. Got a deal done, man. It's crazy. But anyway, so Jordan asks, how long of inspection period do you do? How long do you let the inspection period be? Does Byron do? You. Oh, okay. We normally shoot for. We used to shoot for 14 days, and I would tell you 14 days would be the best if possible. But we have a line in our contract which is it's a contingency. It says suitable. Let me think. I don't have my contract in front of me. Contingent upon inspection suitable to the purchaser. That's what it says. That's from my head too. But so that means that if it's inspected and it's not suitable,
then then you fail the contingency. We're not buying it. So we have that in there to really safeguard our contracts. But we really used to shoot for like 14 days, and if you had to pick a date, I would say 14 days, or if you can get by with like 10 business days, which would be a lot, but if you can get business days, like 7 business days, that might sound better. If somebody don't like 14 days, 10 business days.
Yeah.
7 business days. 7 business days. I don't know, but I would shoot for 14 if you could get it, but you might not be able to get that.
So Jamie Buck, good old JB said, what's going on, y'all? So double closing don't cost more than $800 to $1,000. I think I spoke about that. It's because you're only paying for the A to B side. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on which closing attorney you use, right? So how much in North Carolina, how much were they charging you to close?
I want to say I got it down to maybe $600 or something.
Yeah.
It was like $600.
Yeah.
To close.
Yeah. So it could cost them like $600 to close the A to B, and then the B to C gets closed by a cash buyer who is paying all closing costs and all that stuff. So it really ends up costing like $600 something. I know in me around Atlanta, it was costing me like $800 to $1,000, depends on which closing attorney I actually used. But it was because the B to C was getting covered by the cash buyer, and you only paying the A to B, so you ain't got to get like owners, title insurance, and stuff like that. Be careful, because the first time I double closed, they charged me that owner's title insurance crap, and I was, and I got hit across the head for like $1,700. And then so I asked him, I was like, hey, do I have to get all this stuff? And I talked to him. I was like, anything that's an option, take it off. It's like anything that's optional. I'm not gonna own this property, man. If it's not mandatory, take it off. So at first they would tell me, hey, you got to tell us every time. And then I kept telling them. Then after a while, they was like, okay, they just didn't put it on there no more. But they try to get you with those fees, man. Those attorney's office will get you for the fees if you don't know what you're doing. Be willing to talk to them. Be willing to tell them, hey, is this mandatory? Is that mandatory? Is this mandatory? I don't want this.
Title insurance?
Yeah.
I don't need no title insurance.
No, I don't need none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So long as this thing closed through, I only need the stuff that is necessary for closing, right? I don't need no security. So, but yeah, man. So A says, so did he leave the military full time?
I used to be in the Air Force. I got out of Air Force in 2016.
Yeah.
2016, and I became a real estate agent for a few months up in Hampton, Virginia, and after I became a real estate agent, I was like, this would be a lot easier if I knew a lot of people. But most of the people I knew in the military were like getting shipped to other bases. So like the people I knew were getting moved. So I was like, maybe I'd do better as a real estate agent in Georgia. So I'm like, I'm moving back to Georgia. I moved back to Georgia, and then I said, maybe before I become a real estate agent, it'd be better if I went on vacation. So then I went to Colombia, and I stayed for 18 months, and then I went to Afghanistan. But that's what happened.
Oh man. So to answer your question, did he leave the military full time? I think so. Yeah. I think that was.
I did.
Yeah, there you go.
I was in the military full time. I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question. I was in the military full time, and now I am a wholesaler full time. I'm only a wholesaler. That's all I am.
He ain't no wholesaler. He runs a wholesale business. There you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So, when do you double close? Do you just have the buyer not sign anything until closing day? Well, what happens is, hold on. When you double close, do you just have the buyer not sign anything until closing day? No, the buyer is going to sign the B2C contract, right? And I say B2C, it could be the exact same contract that you sign with the seller. So you sign one contract with the seller, same contract you can take it and sign it with the buyer, right? It's just that you become the seller and the buyer becomes the buyer, right? And then you put a different price on it. Same closing attorney, whatever. Don't do a different closing attorney, man. Don't do that, because that'll mess. That just cause all kind of problems, man. I've been down that road, so do the same closing attorney. So Anita said, "Hey, just tuning in. What's up, Anita? Go subscribe to my guy's Thad YouTube channel. Go ahead and shout it out again, Thad, for the people who missed it."
Wow, Anita said that.
Yeah.
My wholesale, my channel is my wholesale journal. I only got 2 videos, but show some support. I got another video dropping today. I've been making content 5 days a week, and it's just me, what's going on in my business, and just the normal rise and grind of being a wholesaler. Being running a wholesale business.
There you go. Yeah, it's definitely a rise and it's definitely a grind, right? So man, it's crazy. I say a wholesale business because it's really a business. You know what I'm saying? You got workers, you got professional emails, you got logos, you got people in different positions. So you really running a business, man. But anyways, man, my guy Thad is in here with me. He went from Afghanistan to $100 grand wholesaling real estate, doing big things, man. No easy feat, so y'all load him up with questions, man. He out here wholesaling, grinding, getting it done every day, figuring out how to make money in a tough market, all that other good stuff. So y'all hit that up, man. Go check out his channel, his wholesale journey or my wholesale journey. Go check him out. Yeah, my wholesale journey, man. So he gonna have some stuff dropping on there.
Look, my wholesale
journal, not journey, journal. There you go. My bad. Didn't want to disrespect. I didn't mean to disrespect the YouTube channel.
Hey, I didn't want them looking in the wrong place.
They ain't gonna be able to find you.
They'd be like, "Oh man, this that ain't me."
Oh man. But yeah, man, y'all got more questions, go ahead and ask us, man. Otherwise, we're finna sit here and chop it up, talk about some stuff, that got to do with wholesaling, obviously. But all right, Thad, what else you got? Oh, Anita said she remember you, Thad. She met you at the meetup. You remember the meetup in Atlanta, Thad?
Okay, ask her what you sitting on the couch, or what you sitting at the table.
I think Anita was sitting on the couch. I think.
Okay, she was sitting on the couch.
I think she was one of them that was sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay. Tell her. Okay, I think I know who she is. Yeah, she was serious.
Yeah, Nita's serious, man. Nita been rocking with me for a minute, always coming through, showing support. She said she's subscribing, Thad, so your subscribers is going up.
Can you say that again?
I said she said she's gonna subscribe, Thad. So there you go.
Okay, tell her I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
No doubt, Thad. So what you ready to talk about next, Thad?
I said I got something for you. Have you heard about people doing triple closings?
Triple closings?
I did the same thing the same way you did. I said triple closings. I had a guy in Florida because the seller did not want to she wanted to be direct to the seller. So normally I'm like, okay, I'll do a double closing, but the guy he worked for a company that had a buyer, and he's like, yeah, I have a buyer, but he's gonna have to go to our company, and then gonna have to go to the buyer. And I didn't end up doing that triple closing, but the same way as you said triple closing, I like triple closing. Is that legal?
I guess you should be able to triple close.
I'm like, okay, that should work. That should work, but I don't know. I can can see how they could get messy though.
I think
triple closing, man. They might get a little messy, you know.
Yeah, I think it definitely could get messy on a triple close. So that could be really, really a sticky situation. But I think I got another question. Jordan says, do sellers ever ask you to use their title company instead of yours? Yes, they do. And I tell them no. You tell them no, man. You tell them no. You say, hey, look, we use our title company, right? This is, and your company name, like Georgia Home Buyers, we use this title company. This title company we have to use, right? Just tell them, hey, you got to use this title company. This is where, this is where your company closed all of their deals, right? So that's what I would do. But yeah, that's what I always do. If they try to do it, I don't know. I'm not going through their title company. What do you think, Pat?
I remember, on my first deal, guys, Byron, the seller said, hey, I want to use another title company. And Byron's like, tell them no. We use it CNC. You know CNC. I don't know if you want me to mention that.
Yeah. I don't care. They ain't my people.
They made some mistakes in the past.
Man, yeah. They're terrible. They're terrible.
CNC. But you say no, man. Tell them no. And to be honest with you guys, I can't remember if what we ended up doing, but I have been using that seller for a long time, and I ended up talking to the title company that he really did originally want me to do, and now we have some rapport ourselves. So now, if he wants to use those people, like I know they work with wholesale companies and they work with me, and I don't have an issue with him. But that first deal, I didn't really know him. And I didn't know much about him. And Byron was, trying to protect me. So no, I'm pretty sure we used CNC at the time. But CNC is not the real name, but we're gonna. So I know we end up using CNC. But now I do use his. But like I said, I have called them myself, and I said, hey, you guys do pass through funding. You do double closing. Do you how you feel about wholesalers? So I already know how know what they would say. They already can call me directly. So I feel a little bit better than just going blindly and using a seller's title company, because some title companies don't want their wholesalers, and you're not your friends. They're not gonna look out for you. So,
yep, no doubt, man.
That's what ended up happening on my end.
Yep, no doubt. Like you said, man, some of these are not going to be your friend. Some of the closing attorneys won't be your friend. Some they don't want it to be wholesaled. So they try to stop you or something like that. Or they got somebody at an attorney's office that's one of their friends that they want to be on the inside, and they want to be able to see what's on both sides of the transaction. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure ain't none of that happening. You got your closing attorney that's working for you, that you build a relationship with, and they're going to step up and protect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Thad had a deal where the buyer was trying to see both sides of the HUD, and the closing attorney, because he built a relationship with them, and that closing attorney was, when you use a closing attorney, they feel like you are their client. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of them looking out for you versus, you're bringing the other two parties in. You're bringing the seller in, you're bringing the buyer in, but you are the one that's bringing them business. You see what I'm saying? So they are more likely to look out for you. That's why I say go with your title company.
Yeah, the attorney stepped in and she's like, well, why do you need the information? You're not supposed to have that. She could have just said, oh, okay, well, yeah, we could probably get that to you. But she's like, why do you need it? This is a double closing. The buyer doesn't need to see the because she works for me. So that's what y'all want.
Yeah, man. Got to use your own title company, man. At least try your best. If it's just a complete deal breaker, they're gonna try to terminate the contract. Maybe you go ahead and go through because you ain't got nothing else to lose at that point. But try to just go on with your title company, man. Let them know, hey, this is the only way we can get this closed. Whatever. But I would try my best to use my own title company, man, if I had to. So
one more thing though, if you before y'all start picking title companies, or like, try to find one with like good reviews, so that when these sellers see, like, don't have a title company that has, like, if it's on Google, it has like 2 stars or something. Try to find one with, like 4 stars or something. Like, this is a reputable, like this is their Google reviews. Like, if they have any problems with that title company, like, about using yours, you can say, hey, mine has good reviews. Look at because I did have one time have a seller. I had a buyer.
Oh yeah.
Who only wanted to use one title company, and we looked at their Google Google store page or whatever. They had like all kinds of crazy comments, like crazy. And the seller said, I will not use that title company. They're like, look at the stuff that they're saying about the title.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I had it because my buyer had switched, and I had to use it. They were saying they would only use this one. So I was like, all right. I looked at those comments, and I was like, man, like, this is out of control. I don't want to use them either.
Yeah.
I had to go find another one, and I went to the buyer. This was an iBuyer, So I went to the iBuyer and I said, do you have another? Is there another option? Is there any other way? And so they gave me another company, and the other company, it was like it might have been a 4-star, 4 out of 5-star, company. So then when I sent it to the seller was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do business with them. Because at first they wanted to use theirs, but then when I showed them my other option,
yeah.
They saw the stars, and they felt a little bit better.
There you go. So the seller might want to use theirs, but if you show them that you're working with a really good closing attorney, then they're more willing to use yours. Another thing is build relationships with that closing attorney. Thad did. Thad back in the day, he ended up sitting in, was it Chick-fil-A?
I said Chick-fil-A. I said Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, build good relationships. That way you can tell sellers, hey, call this closing attorney. You could talk to them. They know we close deals with them. Call them and ask about us. You know what I'm saying? You can tell you, hey, call that closing attorney and ask about us. They know that we do deals, that we close deals, that we good to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's another good thing to do. Another reason why you need to build a relationship with an attorney's office.
That closing attorney's office had people calling them from Florida. Like, this closing attorney's office was in North Carolina. They had people calling them from Florida. I've had people call them from Texas and just say, like, who is that? Is this a real, I like, here, like, you can talk to these people, and they even because, we have one name that, we use for like a majority of our business, but then I have another LLC that I use for a different business. So even no matter which business it is, they know both names, they're like, yes, that company, yes, that is, they got it all down,
Yeah. And the closing attorneys get to know you too. Like, they know, when somebody call and say that, like, they know that name, you know what I'm saying? So they all automatically, like if somebody roll up into certain places, they say Byron, oh, they know who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so if a seller with and call it there and ask, bam, they know exactly who it is. You know what I'm saying? You say this coming in, they know because they seen it over and over and over again. And I've talked to them so much, more of just talking to them so much. That's why I always talk about building relationships, man. People can vouch for you. People know what kind of person you are, and just talking to them enough, to make sure your name is out there as somebody who's good and decent. You know what I'm saying? Did I lose you?
No, I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah, I heard exactly.
But I lost you for a second, man.
No, I'm right here.
Thank you for putting on a good show, Thad.
We might have to syndicate it.
You are crazy, man. Yeah, man. But
broadcasting worldwide.
Thad is usually walking the entire time we talk, but I think he probably sat down by now.
I am, because my wife was talking in Spanish, walking around my house. So I can hear out here, Spanish slang or something there. So I came out here. I'm sitting now.
Man, hey, that's another good idea. Thing you can bring a Dre on the channel to talk about how she closed the first deal.
Her English is progressive, so I think she can hold it down. And I think there might be some more senoritas around here, especially
you
in the Florida
crazy.
area, in the Texas area, might be looking to close their own deals in multiple languages. The deal she closed happened to be in Spanish at the time, but I mean, she might even be able to wholesale in English now. Like, she spends a lot of time around wholesalers, so I think she could probably do deals in English and be all right.
Well, that'd be
But
good.
I had to have her on. You might have to have her on too, and she's also a life coach for businesses. Well, not for businesses, but for a lot of people with goals and dreams and plans, like where they want to be in their life. She specifically likes to work with women, but I'm sure she would help a man out as well. But she doesn't have a YouTube channel. She has an Instagram.
I keep trying to tell her she got to get on that thing. She got to get on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere.
I'm gonna bully her like you bullied me.
You are crazy, man. So George said, when sellers deny your offer, do you keep following up with them, and how often?
Is that for you, or is that question for you or for me?
I'm asking you.
If a seller denies my offer, what did they say a number? Like, did they say when they denied it? Did they just say it's a little bit too low, or did they say hell no? If they say, oh man, it's just a little bit too off, then I'm in the next 5 minutes, I'm probably gonna come back with another offer. If it will work. If they say, let's say I need this house probably to be at 200, and I asked them 190. I really need to be at 200. I asked them 190, and they said no. Okay, then maybe 10, 15 minutes later, I might come back, or I might call them. It depends on if I'm calling and texting them. But if we're on the phone, and I say, hey, we'll be able to come to agreement at 190, and they say no, 190 wouldn't work. I'm like, well, what are you thinking? Like 195? Stop at 200. And then I'm gonna see what they say. If they come back and say, well, I'm thinking more like 300. Oh, okay. Well then, I don't think we will be able to do that. You could try maybe to look at their Zillow, see if they get listed or something. If y'all want to try to do like a listing referral.
I would say that doesn't work for our off-market department, but we can get you over to our on-market department with our agents. They can help you get it listed and sell it for top dollar.
Exactly what Byron said. But but if they say,
what's up, Torres?
They say hell no, I'm probably not gonna hit the back. If they say hell no,
hey, Dad, my mama watching this.
Oh, hey. Your son got me live. It's only because of him.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was waiting. I'm sorry. Somebody in the comments tell me what I was talking about.
They were saying no. You was on the phone and they said, nah, they don't want to do it. Are they just saying no, or they vehemently, how do you say, what's that word you used there? Brinkman Education? Vehemently saying no.
Yeah. If it's a strong no, maybe in 6 months, like last year, the market was going up. So if you said no at 300 and the market went up, and now your house might be worth 270, maybe you might come down from 300 to 270. You just didn't want my 190, and you didn't want my 200. I'm gonna call you back. And then, oh, hey Byron, you remember that time that your cousin had that deal in South Carolina?
Yeah.
Byron's cousin had a deal in South Carolina. He asked him a year before, like a low number, and the guy said, I'm sorry, it's just too low. It's not gonna work out. A year later, I stumbled upon the same property, and I saw what the owner had originally wanted, and I hurried up and texted them. I said, "Hey, do you still want? I can't remember. It might have been 200 grand or something. Do you still want 200 grand or something?" He said, "Yes. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted." And the market had went up so much since the time he said that it was a deal. It was a deal. It was like 80K deal. I don't know. It was something crazy. But that same day he signed a contract with somebody else.
Oh man, yeah, that was crazy.
Like the person said, do you come back? If what they said, like if they were very firm about that number, but the market is moving in that direction, y'all might be able to, to find a connection, somewhere in between. Maybe he won't go from 300 200, maybe go from 300 to 250.
Yeah.
In 3 months.
Yeah.
So you might be able to hit him back in 3 months or something and hit him with the 250. If the market's going down, that might work too, because he might see that the market's going down, and like, hey, I talked to you 3 months ago. You were at 300, but the market's been kind of going another way. I was trying to see if you wanted to sell before it continued to move in that direction.
Yeah.
Like something like that. He might actually sell because he knows the market is moving in that direction, and he don't want to lose any more value on his house, So I would say maybe 3 months. But if they were really, really crazy, then maybe 8 months. Like maybe never. If they were really, really crazy, maybe never. But maybe 3 to 6 months.
Hey, Christy on TikTok. Yeah, I'll tell her you said hey. But I think that's right that like even like when I was even the other way around, like I was falling up with a seller and he didn't necessarily go down that much. I think man went down 5K, but I ended up finding another buyer that was willing to go way above what the other buyer was willing to go, right? Sometimes you have that bow buyer that's super low, and then if you can go find a regular buyer, they come in and then they were able to offer more, and then it became a deal, right? That's how my first deal happened. Well, I didn't have no buyer on my first deal. The lady just wanted 60K, and I was trying to talk her down to 50. I was like, if I don't get at 50, then I can't do the deal, not knowing that all I need to do is go out there and find the right buyer, right? That's the thing, man. If somebody's interested in selling, you just got to find the right buyer. Like somebody will buy it. Doesn't matter if it has to be as is. Doesn't matter if it's a flipper. Doesn't matter if it's a landlord. It doesn't matter if it's a hedge fund. Doesn't matter if it's, I need to get it over to a real estate agent to get it listed, right? Somebody is out there willing to buy at a price, right? So the thing is just knowing, okay, this person needs to sell. How do I help them sell this property? Right? That's the biggest thing. What do you think, that?
No, exactly what you said. That's an excellent point.
Yeah. So Jordan said, so your buyers would give you offers before viewing it? Yeah. 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 At least they'll tell us, they'll tell us about how much, because if they're a real buyer, they know about how much, they know the area, they know what's going on. They're like, I probably would need it around this right here, right? They know, what's a deal, what's not a deal, right? They just know if they're a real buyer. Go ahead, Thad. What you think? The buyer gave you offers before viewing it?
That's how I make my living. They make me the offer before they see it. Byron doesn't always talk about reverse wholesaling. Find your buyers, build your list. Part of that for me is send it to the buyer and have them give me a bid before I have them come over there. See if we wasting time.
Yeah.
So I'm in agreement with Byron on that. Most definitely.
Yep. No doubt, man. So Eddie says, what are the steps if you find a move-in buyer that wants to finance the home? Is the process the same as finding a cash buyer? The process is definitely not the same. Thad, can you speak to that?
You could. So your seller's gonna have to be real, like, gonna be okay with, if somebody's financing, it's gonna have an appraisal. So you gotta make sure you're gonna be okay with the appraisal. They gotta be okay with people coming in out of their house in case you're gonna have to have an inspection, probably an appraisal. Maybe you don't have to have an inspection, but you're gonna have to have an appraisal.
Probably have to have an inspection if there's a mortgage company, because they gonna want to know that they lending on something that's decent at least. Probably gonna have an inspection.
Well, that's the appraisal. That's what the appraisal be.
Yeah.
Knowing what the appraisal be for, but they're still gonna have to wait a while for it to close. A lot of people like the cash offers because they're gonna close within 14 days or 30 days. But in this case, you're probably gonna be looking at 45 days, maybe 60 days. And the lender sometimes, like, I know when I had a VA loan one time, a VA loan will stop you from having to pay some closing costs. But part of the thing about being a wholesaler is that you tell people, we're going to pay all the closing costs. Well, if some people have certain kinds of loans, like a VA loan being one of those kind of loans, they can't, there's something they don't have to pay for. So they would go back on the seller, but I guess you could take it out of your part. I guess you take that out of your part and you cover that so that the seller don't see it, so the seller don't have to do it. I guess, it would work that way. What you think, Byron?
I think you're right, man. But I would say if you're gonna do this, man, it's so many different factors. Like, you got the loan. Does this person have an agent? Does this person have an agent? The condition of the property. Is this property something that need to be bought cash as is, or is it something that, or is it something that gonna be able to pass, an appraisal or whatever? And then the other thing that can make this real easy is if you can buy cash. You know what I'm saying? Even if it will pass all of those stuff, if you could just buy cash from the person and then turn around and sell it to the person who needs financing, like, I would think that would be the easiest way to get that done. And I've done that. Buy it and just turn around and sell it to somebody who's getting financed, right? That's an easy way to do it. That's what I would say is the easiest way to do it.
Can I ask you a question on the behalf of that person who asked the question?
Go ahead.
You might be wondering how, if he doesn't have the money, how will he be able to buy it?
You contact somebody like me that can help you get transactional funding. Hit me up, IG REI next door, TikTok REI next door. I help you out. But there's plenty of transactional funding companies, but they're gonna make you go through processes to get their funds. But just hit me up, show me your stuff. We'll get it over to you. So that's how you get it.
Quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
But there's a lot of places you can go get transactional funding. You just show people what you got going on. Hey, here's the deal. Here's the paperwork. Bam, they see it. If they know real estate, they see it. They'll contact the attorney's office, and then they'll go from there. They'll know if it's a deal or not. They'll know if they want to lend on it or not, or whatever. So.
Good stuff.
So Eddie said, for sure, man. We'll be in this thing to help people out. But anyways, man, it's been almost 55 minutes. We about to get out of this thing. Thad joined us today, man. I appreciate your time, Thad. I know it's valuable. You could have been all up in launch control getting it done. Hopefully you got your VAs in there getting it done. I wonder how many citations you're gonna have to cite. You got to go run an audit. Oh yeah, there you go.
Everybody who stopped by my wholesale journal, and thanks for the warm welcome.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. A came through, Eddie came through, asking questions. Jordan came through, Anita came through, asking questions like always. Jamie Buck came through, JB came through, asking questions, man. Appreciate all y'all that came through, ask questions on TikTok. But anyways, man, we're finna get out of here. Y'all go check that out. My wholesale journal, right? My wholesale journal. Go check them out. Just dropped a video yesterday, dropping another one today. Man, appreciate y'all. As always, make sure you like and share, right? Because you want to help other people. I tell y'all all the time about, Thad shared a book with me that helped me go the direction of real estate. So that's all I say, man. Y'all share this stuff, man. You never know who you're gonna be able to help. Go in the direction they need to go into. But anyways, man, peace out. Appreciate the love and support.